And my father and I just arrived back from Osaka, Japan last night. And it was actually my very first time in Japan. And it was also my very first time meeting my grandmother and grandfather in 20 years. Yes. So during my stay in Japan, I did tons of different things. I went to a bunch of different places. I saw lots of things. But you know, what I want to share with you guys today is about what I learned about the city my father grew up in, and what I learned about the history of my obachan, which means grandmother in Japanese, by the way, just in case. So, just so you all know, my obachan, she's 82 years old now, and 10 years ago, she was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer, which was treated with radiation and chemotherapy, and now she's cancer-free, so that's pretty good. However, she does suffer from Alzheimer's disease, and my aunt and my grandfather take care of her 24/7 because she's bedridden. And you know, it was amazing to see how they took care of her too. Like, they feed her, they change her, they do everything for her, you know, such unconditional love. And you know, right now I'm in nursing school, so I've taken care of many patients similar to my obachan. So I guess you could say I was prepared to see her in this condition. And when I first met my obachan, she was not really responding much, and the majority of the time she was sleeping a lot. But the moments that I did spend with her, she expressed to us many times that she was so happy. And she said that she loved us so much. So you know, that really touched my heart, and I was so happy to hear that. Even in that condition, she said she was so happy. And so while we were in Japan, we had the opportunity to have dinner with the pioneer leader from Neyagawa City, which is the city that my father grew up in. And his name was Mr. Shimizu. And we met up with him at the Neyagawa Peace Culture Center, which is beautiful, by the way, and we did gongyo together, and after that we went out to eat. So Mr. Shimizu, he was an amazing guy, so amazing, and we got to learn a lot about him as well when we had dinner with him. And some of the things that he shared with us was that when he was a youth division, he was determined that Kosen Rufu was his mission in Neyagawa City. And, you know, he was completely ready to just take on that full responsibility that, you know, Kosen Rufu is my mission here in this city, in Neyagawa. So in 1961, he was the only distributor for the Seikyo Shimbun. And he would get up early every single morning to pass out this newspaper to all the members. And, you know, he was such a fighter because he was the only one, because that's how many members they had in that area at the time. And now, there are 800 distributors for the Seikyo Shimbun, because that's how much the membership grew. Just from his one determination, you know, that's how much the members expanded in Neyagawa. And, you know, just talking with him, you could feel that he was such a fighter, you know, and he was teaching us about the never give up Kansai spirit that, you know, Sensei talks about a lot. And, you know, it was so encouraging to hear that. And also, Mr. Shimizu was a very close friend of my obachan. And my obachan, she joined back in 1965, and she was very close with Mr. Shimizu because she always sought guidance from him about my grandfather, because my grandfather is not a member, he doesn't practice. So, you know, during that time it was so difficult because she was practicing and her husband wasn't. So, you know, what Mr. Shimizu expressed to us was that, you know, she was a real Kosen Rufu fighter. And, you know, she was very smart because she was a member that practiced with common sense. Because he told us that, she always took such good care of her husband and her family and, her duties at the house before she did activities. So, in that respect, her husband always respected what she did because she always took such good care of him. And, he also told us that she was the biggest sweetheart. And, she was truly the kind of person that really understood other people's hearts. And, she was always trying to come up with such creative ways to encourage other people. That's the kind of woman that she was. And, that really, I appreciate Mr. Shimizu because he really helped me understand, how wonderful she was. What kind of person she was, because, after 20 years, and, she's in this condition, I didn't really have the opportunity to get to know her like many other people did, but, I found out how beautiful of a person she was. And one thing that's kind of ironic is that when my father and I had finished Gangyo one day, we were kind of, looking through some of my Obachan's stuff, and we found these booklets right here. And these are, it's a Challenge 100, and this was in 1998, and this was for her chapter. And what these booklets basically are, you write people's names down. It's in Japanese, but you can write people's names down, and it has these little things where you can check off, how you encourage that person. Whether it's, you sent them Sensei's guidance, or you sent them one of Sensei's books or Sensei's video, so you can kind of keep track of how you encourage that person, so you can always follow up with them and continue your dialogue with each person. And we found these, and there's 168 names. She was such a beautiful person. And she, like Mr. Shimizu said, she was so determined to reach out to other people. And, she had 168 names written down and checked off. So, she really was such an amazing person. And, one of the things that I was really chanting for before I went to Japan was that, people always talk about ever victorious Kansai. And, I wanted to really engrave the Kansai spirit in my heart when I went to Japan. And, I really feel like I learned about the Kansai spirit not from someone telling me about it, but from the actions of all the people there. Mr. Shimizu and what he did for Neyagawa City. And, the actions of my Obachan. How many people she reached out to. And the Morishitas, I also met with Nobu's parents. They're amazing too. But that's like a whole other experience. And, I was just so inspired. And, I just really wanted to say thank you so much to my Obachan. And thank you to Mr. Shimizu and the Morishitas, Nobu's parents, and my parents. And thank you to all the members here. I really want to carry out that same spirit, the Kansai spirit that I learned about in Japan. I really want to carry that out here in South Carolina with you guys. So thank you so much.